All right, hello and welcome. If you've got your sights set on the Indonesian job market, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to walk through the whole journey, step by step, from spotting that perfect role to absolutely nailing your first day. Let's get you hired.
You know, getting a job in Indonesia is this really interesting mix of what you'd expect globally, but with its own unique local flavor. So the real question is, are you ready to turn that application into an actual career? Let's get you prepped.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, finding your next role. First things first, right? You got to know where the fish are biting. To find the really good opportunities, you need to know exactly where to look and honestly, how to cast a pretty wide net.
So your strategy here really needs to be a mix of old school and new school. Of course, you're going to be on the big online portals like JobStreet and Glints. Those are must-haves. But don't sleep on just going directly to a company's own career page. And here's a big one. Relationships are huge in Indonesia. Seriously, networking isn't just a buzzword here. It could literally be the thing that lands you the job.
All right, so you found an interesting job ad. Now you have to learn how to read it, how to decode it. You're going to want to zoom in on two main parts. First, responsibilities, or tanggung jawab. That's what you'll actually be doing day to day. Then there's qualifications, kualifikasi. Think of this as your personal checklist. It tells you exactly what they need you to have to even get in the door. Match yourself against that list.
All right, Section 2, crafting your application. You found the role, awesome. Now comes the fun part, making an application that actually stands out from the pile. Your CV, your cover letter, think of them as your personal marketing brochure.
When it comes to the Indonesian market, you don't need to get too fancy. A clean, standard structure like this is honestly your best bet. A couple of key things to remember though. First, including a professional, kind of passport-style photo is super common, and a lot of companies expect it. And second, that little professional summary at the top, that's your golden ticket. It's a 2 or 3 sentence pitch to hook the recruiter right away. Okay, let's talk about leveling up your bullet points. Look at this difference. Responsible for social media is fine, but managed 5 social media channels, increasing follower engagement by 20% in 6 months? Now that gets a recruiter's attention. See the difference? Don't just list what you did, show the impact you made. Use strong action verbs and, whenever you can, use numbers. Numbers prove your value.
And what about the cover letter? A lot of people think it's just a formality, but no way. It's the bridge that connects your CV to this specific company. You want to start strong, just like this example. Be direct, be enthusiastic, mention the position and where you saw it. The whole point is to show them you're not just spamming applications. You're genuinely interested in them.
Moving on to Section 3, mastering the interview process. So your amazing application worked, and you've landed an interview. That is awesome. But just a heads up, you're not at the finish line yet. The process in Indonesia can be a bit of a marathon, not a sprint. There are often quite a few stages you need to get through.
And knowing this typical timeline can really help you keep your cool. So it usually starts with the seleksi administration. That's just HR screening your CV. But then you'll probably hit something called the psycho test. This is a really common psychological test in Indonesia that looks at your cognitive abilities and personality. Don't be surprised by it. After that, you'll usually have an interview with HR, then a more technical one with your potential boss, maybe a practical test, and then you get to the offer letter.
Okay, let's talk about the one question that makes everyone sweat. What are your weaknesses? Ugh, we've all been there. But don't worry, there's a really simple way to answer this that's both honest and makes you look good. Check out this example. It's pretty much a perfect answer. Why? Because it follows a simple 3-part formula. First, you state a real but not job-killing weakness, like public speaking. Second, you show you're self-aware. But here's the magic part. Third, you explain what you're actively doing to get better. Boom, you just turned a negative into a story about your drive to improve.
And don't forget, this isn't a one-way street. The interview is your chance to interview them too. When they ask, "Do you have any questions for us?" you better have some ready. Asking smart questions like these about the team culture, the daily challenges, it shows you're not just desperate for any job. It shows you're trying to find out if this is the right job for you.
And now for the best part. Section 4, succeeding from day 1. You did it. You got the offer. That's amazing. But the journey isn't quite over. Now the focus shifts from just getting the job to actually building a career there. And those first few weeks are absolutely critical.
So in Indonesia, you'll almost always have what's called a probation period, or masa percobaan. It's usually about 3 months long. And this is your big chance to prove they made the right hire. The goal here isn't to be the most productive person on day one. It's really about learning the ropes, fitting in with the team, and building those all-important relationships.
When it comes to workplace etiquette, the two big themes are respect and harmony. So, some key do's. Be on time, it's a massive sign of respect. Respect the hierarchy, which we'll talk more about, and definitely join in on social stuff, like lunch. For the don'ts, try not to be super informal right away, avoid complaining or gossip, basically just aim to be a positive, easy-to-work-with person.
Okay, this is a super important one. It's way more than just a language lesson. It's about culture. You should always address senior colleagues and managers as Bapak for men, which is like Mr., and Ibu for women, which is like Ms. or Mrs. It's such a simple thing to do, but it shows a huge amount of respect and cultural awareness.
And speaking of culture, you're going to hear the phrase makan siang bareng a lot. It just means eating lunch together. And let me tell you, this is not just about food. It is a core social ritual. If your colleagues invite you to lunch, say yes. It's honestly one of the fastest and best ways to build relationships and really feel like you're part of the team.
So, there you have it. We've gone through the whole process, from that very first job search all the way to crushing your first few weeks. You've got the roadmap, you know the culture, you have all the tools you need. So the only real question left is, what's your first step going to be? Now go make it happen. Good luck.